Hunterdon Central Girls Lacrosse is dedicating today's game to the life and legacy of Morgan Rogers, a former Duke University lacrosse student-athlete who died tragically in July 2019 after battling a mental health struggles. Although Morgan's life was cut way too short, her legacy of unconditional love remains. Morgan's message was created by her family and former teammates with the mission to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health, normalize the conversations about mental health, and ensure that mental health is treated equally to physical health for all student athletes. Death by suicide is now the second leading cause of death among college athletes in the United States. For more information on Morgan's life and legacy and how you can help those with mental health struggles, please visit morgansmessage.org. You can also find our GoFundMe on our HUG Lax Instagram. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone that made today possible. Thank you to my teammates and coaches for always supporting me, and a special thanks to my parents for always going above and beyond for me and making today possible. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remove your hats and join me for a moment of silence in remembrance of Morgan Rogers.
Hello everybody, welcome to Stewart Field here at Hunterdon Central Regional High School for today's varsity girls lacrosse match between the Hunterdon Central Red Devils and the Berners Mountaineers. The Hunterdon Central Red Devils coming to you today 16-2, 4-1 in the Skyline Conference Delaware Division. Here, their two losses coming to Bridgewater and Ridgewood, but they are coming off of a 18-5 win over North Hunterdon and a 17-2 win over Hopewell Valley. They also beat Sparta 13-6 in the Hunterdon Warren Sussex County Championship just about over a week ago. Berners coming off of a 14-11 win over West Morris, but they did lose to Pingree in the Somerset County semifinals 2 weeks ago. Aside me now is my good partner and friend here, Maddie Helke. How are you today, Maddie?
I'm good, Robbie. You know, always have a fun time announcing, especially lacrosse late in the season. Gonna be a fun one today, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. A beautiful day for lacrosse, 69 and sunny here in Hunterdon County. The Berners Mountaineers coming in at 11-5, 5-0 in the Skyline Conference Raritan Division. Their
standout player for the Mountaineers is number one, I believe. Yeah, number one, Kendall, with 63 goals and 16 assists on the season, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Kendall Schmuller looking very good for the Mountaineers. Also, senior Kayla Davey, number 7 for Berners, has 60 goals and 25 assists, totaling up for 85 points this season. For your Red Devils, it is Caden Brandt with 48 goals and 18 assists, leading Hunterdon Central. Also, Maggie Scally, number 20, the senior midfielder, has 38 goals and 15 assists.
I know Maggie very well. I've known her for a very long time. She's such a sweet young lady. You know, she's continuing her lacrosse career at Monmouth. Very good to see. She always makes a point of saying hi to me in the hall, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, something we see a lot is this year it has both boys and girls lacrosse for Hunterdon Central is the youth movement. And looking now at the Hunterdon Central roster, a lot of sophomores, a lot of youth like Maddie Christensen, Leighton G, just a couple there. G is having a really good year. Emma McRitchie's a goalie. You also have got girls like Ariana Sanchez and Maya Sands as well. Jillian Schneider, Dalty Klaus has had a fantastic year, and Amelia Saramat, the freshman. So just displaying Hunterdon Central's youth movement, getting ready for the next 3-4 years here as we get ready for today's game.
Our starting goalie, I don't know if she's starting, but their star goalie for your Red Devils is Emily Steinbrück, the senior, number 23, with 100 saves on the season, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
And the goalie for Bernards is Jane Shuffler. She's a junior. 126 saves on the season, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, getting ready for the draw here. Maggie Scally taking it for the Red Devils. Ready to get underway here at Stewart Fields for the Mountaineers. It is number 14, Kendall Schmerler. Again, a beautiful day here at Stewart Field. The refs getting ready now for today's matchup. Should be a good game again. The Mountaineers 11-5, and the Red Devils 16-2. Scally and Schmerler ready at the draw. Ref will check up for the clock. And we're underway in today's game. A fumble draw there. Looks like we're going to try it again. Scally and Schmerler. There's the whistle. And it will be picked up by Mountaineers number 7, Kayla Davey. As they start off possession of the ball, they'll head towards the 8-meter shot. Goes high of the net and out of play.
Very impressive. It looks like it will be. And so far, team's looking good.
So it is Red Devils goalie Emily Steinberg going to bring it in now.
Emily has been great this year. A lot of saves. She won a lot of games, and the result of that is Central has made it this far this season.
Sky brought it up past half field. Now there's Red Devils number 9. It's Aiden Masterton towards the net. Looking over her options. Trying to run a play now for Hunterdon Central. She'll go to Jossie Sponzo. Now to number 18, I believe that is Dalty Klaus. Along the far side of the net, we'll go back behind the net to Masterton.
Behind the net by your Red Devils. Looking over their options here. Pass back. In front.
There's Klaus now. She'll go back to Sponzo. And they'll try again. Back to Scally to reset the offense.
Scally with it. Long shot. Pass behind the net. Long
Try
pass.
something going. Goal!
Go in. Goal. What a beautiful goal by your Red Devils.
Yeah, scoring quickly here. The Red Devils are on the scoreboard 1-0. That was sophomore Katie Schwartz. Number 18, Scally and Spons were able to get something going there behind the net. Able to get to run a play and let it develop and have Schwartz right there in front of Stout for nothing she could do. And it's 1-0 Hunterdon Central.
With 10-11 gone by in the game so far. 1-0 Central off the beautiful goal by the sophomore Katie Schwartz.
So again, Hunterdon Central out to an early lead, and that just shows their dominance this season, early and often, finding the net. As here's another draw between Schmerler and Scally.
I've noticed in a lot of the games, and this is true in a lot of sports, when you score first, you tend to win the game. You get them a little bit momentum going. Maybe they could generate some more here.
Yeah, whistle blown. It will be Red Devils ball. There is Red Devils number 12. That is Kaden Brand along the far side. The lead scorer for Hunterdon Central goes back behind the net. Looks over her options. Makes a move inside. Spins. Knocked down. And it will be an offensive foul. Possession going to the Mountaineers. And there's number 16, Bryn Burke. For Berners, going to try to get the offense rolling, but there's a bad pass in the dirt. Whistle blown. And it will stay in Bernard's possession. There's number 19 as Alexa Paterno. On the far side, out of bounds maybe, but it will remain in the possession of the Mountaineers. That was Addison Chisholm going to bring it in. Ground ball picked up now by Leighton G. Try to get something going. We'll go back now to Jillian Schneider. A couple sophomores working together to get the ball downfield.
You love to see it. Seeing the young players here on the team, generating some offense here early on. I think Central, it's still relatively early, only 8:40 gone by, but I think Central has been the more dominant team on both offense and defense so far.
Yeah, absolutely, Maddie. Klaus able to bring it down. There's Sponzo looking. They'll go outside, almost intercepted, but it will be picked up by Bernard. Some contact made. They'll bring it back to Stauff to reset. Good interception there by number 14, Kendall Schmerler for Bernards. Schmerler bring it up. She'll now go to the near sideline. Finds the stick of Caroline Soul. Here comes Burners now onto the offense. Looking knocked away, but whistle blown, and it will be at the 8-meter. A free ball here for Bernards.
Bernards looking good.
Yeah, even Malello looking now at the 8-meter line.
Central very dominant on both offense and defense.
There's the whistle. Malello bring it back out to the 12-meter. Passes it off to Kaylin Burns.
Bernards even on still early, only let 1 goal in.
Yeah, spin move there. Goal for the Mountaineers.
Great goal there. Good, beautiful move. 1-1, 7:08 left in the first here.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been Charlotte Ferrugia for the Mountaineers who scored that. Really good move there. It all, of course, started with the free play, back behind the net. So another draw coming up, tied up at 1 early in the first, 7:08 still remaining. And it's Scally and Schmerler back at the HC. Getting ready for yet another draw, and top competitive so far. Central, a lot of offense, but there was a big move and a big drive for Bernards. Draw won by Hunterdon Central. Now brought up by, I believe it's Maddie Christensen. There's Shelly Schnell now. She'll go back. Looks shot. Saved by Stauffer.
Beautiful save there by Stafford. Bernards with it. After that goal, they got some momentum here. Can they capitalize?
Addison Chisholm able to bring it up. Whistle blown. And looks like it will stay in Bernard's possession.
They got some momentum, as I was saying, after that goal. 6:20 left. Maybe they could generate some more offense here. Go up.
Mia DeRosa looking now. She'll find the stick of Keelan Burns. Looking now. Passes it off to Bernard's number 17, Caroline Burke. Now back to DeRosa. Back behind the net. Here is Davy. Looking, shot off. No pass. Spins, tries to get out of some traffic there. Pass fumbled and picked up by your Red Devils back behind the net.
Awesome play, defensive play by your Red Devils to maintain, regain possession of the ball here.
Yeah, picked up by Maddie Christensen there, the sophomore. And now a big drive for offense, but a fumbled pass. Still some contact, whistle blown. And it will stay Red Devils ball.
Great to see that physical contact here.
Yeah, Miles Santi able to get this one going. There's Jossie Sponzo. She'll pass it off now to Hunterdon Central number 8, Jelly Schnell. Schnell looking over her options. Makes a move towards the net. I'll think better of it. Now goes to Red Devils number 13, Katie Schwartz. Goes to Scally. Scally spins. Back around the 12-meter line, inside. But will fire wide in between the uprights of the football field.
Bomb there at the end that just went wide. Beautiful shot, though.
Yep.
I thought that might have gone in.
Central retained possession and goal for Hunterdon Central.
2-1, 4:40. I can't talk. 4:33 left. 2-1.
Yeah, another sophomore there. That was Dalkey Klaus. Looks like they're not going to count it.
Oh, they're not counting it.
Looks like Klaus will start with the ball at the 8-meter line. Looked pretty good. Fought through some traffic, fought through some contact, but they're going to call it back. There's the whistle. Gets a shot off wide of the net and out of bounds. Will be picked up by Bernards. That is number 17, Caroline Burke. We'll try to get it going for the Mountaineers.
Some good physical contact there.
There's Addison Chisholm along the near sideline. Fights through some contact to go through the center of the field. Passes it off now to Mia DeRosa. DeRosa trying to get something going.
She drops it.
Goes to
about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it goes to Davy. Davy fumbled it, and it looks like it will remain in possession for Bernards. Trying to get something going on offense now. Passing it behind the net. Looks over their options. There's DeRosa. To Burke. Now to Davy. She'll make a move up towards the net. Shot and goal! Scored for the Mountaineers. Able to squeak past the left.
Just saying, they had some good momentum going. It was only a matter of time before they capitalized. 2-1 for the Mountaineers. 3:31 left in the first here.
Yeah, able to squeak past the left leg there of Steinberg. So 2-1 here for the Mountaineers, and one of the few occurrences here your Red Devils are trailing. So late in the first quarter here, a lot of game to play. 3:31 to be exact, and it'll be another draw here between Maggie Scally and Kendall Schmerler.
It's still early. I think they could come back, but you never know.
On the draw, sticks in the air, and whistle blown. We'll try it again. And no, it will be Hunterdon Central. Ball picked up by Scally now on the far sideline. Fights through some contact there from Davy. And more contact, whistle blown. Scally will keep this one around the 8-meter line. Ready, there's the whistle shot. Saved by Stauffer.
Beautiful save.
Good ground ball picked up now by your Red Devils. That is Dalty Klaus.
Beautiful save.
Looking over, she'll go to Sponzo.
Beautiful save there by Stafford to prevent a tie game again.
Yeah, the sophomore Dalty Klaus looking over her options now. On the far side of the net, goes back behind the net, and we'll try to reset.
We've seen a lot of action here from our sophomores on the team. You love to see it.
Whistle blown. So another opportunity here for the Red Devils. That will be Jelly Schnell going to bring the ball in. Looks like 400 Central shot.
I think she saved it.
And goal.
It went in. I thought she saved it.
Yeah, Stafford looked like she got a leg on it. Not able to keep it out of the net. And we're rolling it up at 2. Yeah.
2-2, 2:27 left in the first. I think Stafford might have kicked it in. I don't know for sure, though.
Yeah, it looked pretty close there.
Don't quote me on that.
So Scally and Schmerler will go back for the draw at the middle of the field. Been pretty even so far. Scally's won a few, Schmerler's won a few.
Yeah, first part of the game here, the Central was dominated, and then Bernards were dominating. Now it's been a little more even. It's been more back and forth, which is fun to see.
Yeah, there's Schmerler bringing the ball up. She finds Burke, tries to get a shot off, but it goes wide and over the net. Looks like we'll stay in possession of the Mountaineers. DeRosa will find the stick of Malello. Now to Davy. Davy looks over her options, thinks maybe Schmerler along the far side of the net, thinks better of it, back the other way. Reverses, moves, spins. Davy, a shot saved by Steinberg.
Beautiful shot there, and beautiful save by Steinberg.
Yeah, good moves there by Kaylee Davy, but not enough to get Steinberg.
Just a bomb. It looked like it could have gone in, but Steinberg just able to get the save away.
Here's Dave on the near side of the net. Shot off. Saved by Steinberg. Another beauty. Ball still loose. And finally will be recovered by Mountaineers number 8, Ellie Tomes.
Now Mountaineers maintaining possession now.
Looking now back to Davies. We'll go to Burke. Burke now the near side of the field. To DeRosa.
Back and forth, looking over their options here. Long pass there.
Back to Davies, back to Burke. Obviously, Bernard's trying to run some kind of play already have scored 2 as 50 seconds and counting left in the first quarter. There's Ferrucci behind the net. Still looking. There's DeRosa. Trying to stalk. Good defense here from the Red Devils. Finds Malello. Now to Schmerler. Schmerler makes a move towards the net. Spins. Ball's knocked loose. Picked up by Hunterdon Central on a turnover.
Bad turnover there for the Mountaineers.
Some contact whistle blown. Will stay in possession of the Red Devils. That's Maggie Scally. Ball knocked loose. Picked up now by Schmerler. To Davies. Shot off and wide of the net. 4 seconds, and looks like this is going to end the first quarter. We're all knotted up at 2 apiece. Mountaineers and Red Devils.
Great first quarter. So I liked what we saw from both teams. It was a very back and forth. At the end, the Mountaineers dominated, and then at the beginning, this Red Devils dominated. But then in the middle more, it was more back and forth, and we loved to see that. I also love that we saw a lot from our sophomores on the team. Good to see those young girls.
Central now seeing something they haven't seen really all year, besides a handful of games, and that is really stiff competition. Tied here, not used to seeing that often. Still tied up at 2 now as we look into the second quarter. Maddie, what did you see that really kind of has one team stand out more than the other?
Well, for Central, I love that there's sophomores on the team were more dominant, but mainly it was the goalies. Both goalies have been beautiful and blocked many hard shots that I think a lot of goalies could have let in. So I think it's impressive to see the goalie battle. Both of them are very decent goalies, so I think that's been very fun to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see who will be the better goalie. Steinberg and Stout for both having some fantastic saves over the course of the first quarter. You mentioned those sophomores. Looking now, Maddie Christensen has Leighton G has 11 goals. I believe leading the sophomores. Katie Short has 23. So you said the sophomores really a big presence for Hunterdon Central. So something that I saw, Hunterdon Central was more kind of on the move, on the go offense, kind of just trying to drive towards the net. Maybe it's something up behind the net. I didn't really see that it was working, although they did score twice on some slants right in front of the net. Really tough shots for Stauffer to defend, but the Mountaineers really able to get good ball movement, finding sticks, and able to find the net twice there in the first frame. Yeah, looks like maybe a change at the draw for the Mountaineers. That is Berners number 7, Kayla Davey, going to take the draw for Berners here to start off the second quarter. Maggie Scally back there for Hunterdon Central as the goalies switch sides. Ref ready. A barn burner here through the first quarter of this one. There's the whistle. Ball is up and picked up by Hunterdon Central. And it will be Hunterdon Central number 12 going to try to get the offense going here. That's Caden Brandt, Central's lead goal scorer.
Brandt's having a great season so far. Lead goal scorers, 48 goals on the season, 18 assists. Beautiful.
There's Master, and he'll find Sponzo. Sponzo will look along the far side. Thought about moving towards the net, thought better of it. Good pass there to find Scally. Scally thinks about a shot, lets it fly, and in! Goal for your Red Devils!
Beautiful goal by, was that Scally?
Yes.
Beautiful goal by Maggie Scally, the senior, 3-2 Central lead. What a goal.
Yeah, that will be Scally's 39th goal of the year. So able to add to the stats, and a really good look for Sponzo. Jossie Sponzo thought about maybe making a move towards the net, but able to find a wide open Maggie Scally who got a great shot off to beat Stauffer right past her right leg.
3-2 to score, 11:23, still early in the second quarter.
Scally back to draw 400 Central. Looks like Schmerler will return to the center for Bernards. And there's the whistle. And we'll try it again. No good on that draw. It is Kayla Davey, excuse me. back for Bernards. Is Scally adding to her stat totals, 39 goals, 15 assists for Central's second lead scorer. That time won by Bernards. Contact, whistle blown. Looked like a push there on Central number 8, Jelly Schnell. Here comes Davey along the near sideline. Able to get by Leighton G. Finds Burke, Caroline Burke. Now missed pass there, fumbled by Ellie Malello. Whistle blown at will stay in possession of the Mountaineers.
Good defense there by Central to keep the Mountaineers from scoring there.
Eva Malello there trying to get a shot off. Blue Mountaineers ball here at the 8-meter, fumbled, and looked like Master maybe poked it out, but we'll try again. Caroline Burke for Bernards from the 8-meter line. And gets a shot off. Good save by Steinberg.
Beautiful save there by Emily Steinberg.
Ball still loose, will be picked up by Bernards. They'll go behind that to Paterno to try to reset the play. And nope, it'll go to Hunterdon Central now.
Beautiful plays there by Central. And they go back the other way.
There's Dalty Classic to try to get this one started for the Red Devils. Bring it up past midfield. Looks for maybe Leighton G there. Drop pass picked up by Mia DeRosa. Spins outside now to Schmerler. Thinks about a shot, drops it. Ball still loose, whistle blown. And looks like it's going to remain in possession of the Bernards Mountaineers.
Beautiful place there, 9:59 gone by. Beautiful play by both teams, 32 Central lead. Both teams have been very dominant. It's been a very back and forth quarter so far. Central obviously being the more dominant team scoring the goal, but both teams playing beautifully.
So referees trying to make of the whistle there will remain Mountaineers ball from the 8-meter line. And there's the whistle. Shot off and good for Kendall Schmerler, number 14 on the Mountaineers. Just off the 8-meter, able to beat Steinberg over the left shoulder to tie it back up. A hell of a game here with 9 minutes and 55 seconds left in the second frame of today's matchup.
Tied up 3-3. Beautiful goal there. Both teams playing beautifully so far.
Scally back to midfield will match up yet again with Davey. Again, beautiful day here in Hunterdon County. As there's the whistle, ball is up and picked up by your Red Devils.
Beautiful play there by the Red Devils to
Picked-
gain
Picked up.
possession.
Picked up by Caden Brandt along the far sideline. Now back behind the net. Looking over her options there. Going to Red Devils, number 13, Katie Schwartz. Schwartz to Scally. Scally will look, back to Schwartz. Now back behind the net.
Scallion Schwartz both with a goal on the game so far.
That is Mila Santi back behind the net. There's good chance and goal for your Hunterdon Central Red Devils.
What a goal there! 4-3. Central goes up. 9:13 remaining.
Caden Brandt does it again. Goal number 49 on the year.
Beautiful goal by Caden Brandt. The senior.
So the Mountaineers score and the Red Devils answer right back. Only 40 seconds in between goals there as Hunterdon Central regains the lead.
Beautiful goal there by Brant.
Yeah, Brant able to get it there off the draw. Brought along the far sideline, maybe running a play for Central. Able to find Brant to net that one and regive Central a 4-3 lead. So Scally and Davey back in midfield now for the draw. There's the whistle. Ball is up, and we're going to try it again. And up, it will be Red Devils' ball. Quickly hands it off to Jelly Schnell.
Speed by Chanel. You love to see it.
Back behind the net, looking over her options. Now we'll hand it off to Red Devil number 13. Back to Chanel. Down to Lasanti. Looking to Sponzo. Back to Chanel. Some moves trying to get something going here for Hunterdon Central. In front of the net, good chance, but knocked away for Katie Schwartz. Will remain in Central's possession.
Great chance by Schwartz to get the second of the game, I believe.
He able to find Schwartz had a good look there right in front of the net in Stauffer, but knocked away by a excelling Mountaineers defense so far today. Here's Jossie Sponzo. Good chance. Shot off. Saved by Stauffer. Stick flies and whistle blown. Will be Bernard's ball.
A couple great chances there by your Red Devils. But Bernard not able to capitalize.
Yeah, as Caroline Burke will try to bring up the ball for Bernards. That makes a difference in these close games, as those chances that don't end up in the net. We'll see if that comes back to bite Hunterdon Central later in this one.
Yeah, that definitely actually makes a lot of difference.
So there's Schmerler. Receive that pass from Davey. Now Burns back behind the net. There's DeRosa. Back outside to Burke. Burns trying to run a play to Schmerler. There's a move. Pick set there by Davey. Tries to get a shot off. Shot not there. Whistle blown. And maybe a sub for Maggie Scally. Or yellow card for Maggie Scally on that one. So Burns goes on a power play. We'll see if Burners is able to capitalize with 7:13 left in the second quarter. And it looks like referees just trying to maybe to clear this one up before we resume action here at Stewart Field.
4-3 our score here in favor of the Red Devils. 7:13 left in the second.
So a good chance here for Bernards from the 8-meter line.
Okay.
Looks like it'll be Kendall Schmerler. And there's the whistle. Shot off, and we'll find the net to tie this one up. Schmerler's second goal of the game makes it 4-4 Mountaineers.
Beautiful. This has been a very even game. Both teams playing beautiful. 4-4 every time. And someone starts something, scores, and you get a little bit of hope. The other team comes back and turns it around.
Yeah, again, a really close game here. Something that's unusual for Hunterdon Central, especially as of late. Close game there with Pingree early on in the year. A couple losses to Bridgewater and Ridgewood, both by one. They've had their fair share of one-goal games as they beat Rumson Fairhaven in the middle of April, but outside of that, it's been pretty much blowouts and domination for the Red Devils. Still a lot of time left in this one on the draw. Ball is up, loose, and whistle blown. Will be Bernard's ball. Much to the displeased of the fans, and nope, it's going to be Central's ball. So there's, yes, there's Dalty Klaus, hands it off to her fellow sophomore, Leighton G. She'll bring it along the near sideline. We'll go and now find Central number 7, Jillian Schneider. So a trio of sophomores as here comes Dalty Klaus along the far sideline. Looking back behind the net now, hands it off to Jelly Chanel. Chanel now back to Lasanti. Should be Caden Brandt. Now to Central number 13. Schwartz will find Sponzo. Looking over. Not a lot of movement behind the net like we've seen previously for Hunterdon Central. Back to...
They do like Central does like playing behind the net. And then they'll... And over the goalie's shoulders sometimes.
Yeah, Schwartz thought about to move there towards the net. Thought better of it. Use Lasanti as a middleman. Who will give it back to Klaus. Klaus looking on the near sideline. Spins. And fumbles the ball, whistle blown, and Klaus is down. Looks like maybe tying her cleat. For the sophomore for Hunterdon Central. Klaus has seen a lot of movement in today's game. 34 goals, 14 assists on the year for 48 points. Here's Klaus. Now to Lasanti. Back to Klaus. Looking, slows it down. To Schnell. So obviously a different play call here for Hunterdon Central as Jelly Schnell seen a lot of movement behind the net. Now in front, and here comes Maggie Scally. Power play over. Here comes Schnell, whistle blown. And will be Central ball, looks like from the 8 meter. Good game here, second quarter. 5, I want to go. All knotted up at 4. Hunterdon Central from the 8 meter. Here goes Schnell, and finds the net to give Hunterdon Central the lead.
5-4, beautiful goal there.
Schnell able to rush Jane Stout for the goalie for the Mountaineers, as the Bernards goalie had no chance in stopping that one. It's 5-4 Hunterdon Central with 4:57 to go in the second. So Hunterdon Central regains the lead here late in the second quarter. Scally back to midfield for the Red Devils. And whistle, false start, Hunterdon Central ball. Excuse me, Bernard's ball. Will be Bernard's number 13. Try to get good ball movement here along the far sideline. That is Kaylin Casey. And a turnover. Leighton G going to try to get something started here for the Red Devils. Whistle blown. And looks like Jossie Sponzo going to get it started for Hunterdon Central. We'll pass it back now to Central number 7, Jillian Schneider. There's Dalty Klaus on the far side of the field. Tries to get a shot off. Fights you contact. Ball was loose, but will stay Red Devil ball.
this game compared to other Central's game. And a lot of other Central's game have been blowout wins, and they've been dominated. They've kind of met their match here, and they've been very back and forth, and they haven't really dominated much. And that is a Red Devils goal there.
There's another goal there for Hunterdon Central. Didn't see who it was.
6-4.
As
Goal 4 of 6.
so a 2-goal lead for the first time today for the Red Devils. And it will be Hunterdon Central number 12, Caitlin Brandt, going to take the draw now for the Red Devils.
Is that her third? Game?
I believe it was Brandt's third of the game, so a hat trick now. In the second, wins it, but intercepted by Mountaineers number 7. That's Kayla Davey. Davey fights through contact towards the net. And we'll take it back out and try to get something started for the Mountaineers. Here comes Mia DeRose.
Back to Mountaineers, going back and forth. Moves in with
There's
speed.
Eva Malella. Back now to Keenan Metro. Metro looking. Back to Caroline Burke. Back to Metro. Obviously waiting for something to develop for Burners, trying to get back within one. Good pressure and aggressive defense from Hunterdon Central as Burners will send the ball back behind the net to Mia DeRosa. DeRosa looking. Now to Schmerler. Inside, Metro missed on that one. Picked up by Burke and picked up by Steinberg.
Beautiful play to Burke, to Steinberg. Very beautiful there.
Steinberg able to get the ball out, but it was a wild pass, gives the ball right back to the Mountaineers. Here is Kendall Schmerler on the far side of the field. Goes back behind now to DeRosa. Now to Alexa Paterno. To Metro. To Davey looking. Back to Caroline Berg trying to get something going. Looks inside for Schmerler. But fumbles the ball. Picked up now by, I believe that was Malello. Back to Metro. And they'll try it again. Davey looks. DeRosa's now in front of the net. There's Davey. Davey goes down. Picked up by Schmerler. And whistle blown.
Davey might be hurt there. She's crawling around the field, covering her head down. She may be hurt.
Here, Kayla Davey still down here as
We'll see if a trainer and now we have a trainer coming onto the field.
there's the training staff limping away. Looks like that.
Away. It might be an ankle.
Yeah, looks like that. Like maybe a hamstring actually. Looks like left leg, some kind of left leg injury for Kayla Davey.
Yeah, immediately collapsed on to the sideline.
Yeah, a big loss there for Bernard's lead goal scorer with, second lead goal scorer with 60 goals, 25 assists. So obviously a key piece of this Bernard's team. We'll see what they can do without her. She's touched the ball a lot so far today. So they'll get it back started. They'll go back to Eva Malala back behind the net. Look, we'll go back to Paterno, who was covered by Scally and Schneider. Here's a chance. Good save for Steinberg. Ball is loose.
Beautiful save there by Steinberg, but it was loose. Thankfully not able to capitalize.
Ball was still loose, and whistle blown will stay with Bernards from the 12-meter line.
1:40 left in the second, 6-4 the score.
So it will be number 9 for Bernards, Keenan Metro. Going to try to get it started. Thinks about it going towards the net. Thinks better of it. We'll go back to Caroline Burke. Seems to be kind of the play starter in place of like a point guard, you would say, in basketball. Trying to develop plays and get something happening for the Mountaineers. There's Paterno to Mita Rosa. Now back to Metro. Metro cuts in, smothered, and whistle blown. Will remain in Burns' possession. Keenan Metro going to start up again for the Mountaineers. Moves, covered, Over now to Paterno. Back to Metro. Excuse me, that's Caroline Burke now back behind the net. Passes it off to Mountaineers number 12, Charlotte Ferrugia. Back to Burke.
Behind the net is Burke, moving in, looking over her options.
Burke will look. Chance for DeRosa there, cutting from the net. Did not take it. As there's Ferrugia. Back to Burke.
Burke moving in.
And now waiting for something to develop. Tamina DeRosa. Spins. Thought about moving towards the net. Now we'll think better of it. Reverses shot. And saved by Steinberg. Whistle blown.
Beautiful save there by Steinberg.
And it looks like it's going to stay with Bernards.
19.4 left. 6-4 is your score in favor of your Red Devils.
Yeah, just under 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Mita Rosa from the 8-meter line. Already has 1 goal today. Shot. Wide. And out of play. Who keeps the ball? It is Hunterdon Central.
Hunterdon Central will bring it back the other way late in the game.
Here comes
Take a cannon down the field. They could maybe score, but
Here comes sophomore Julian Schneider, but the ball is loose. Able to pick it back up. Now it'll go through midfield, but the horn blows. And it's 6-4 for your Hunterdon Central Red Devils here after the first half. 3 goals for Caden Brandt, 2 goals for Maggie Scally. As a fantastic first half for Hunterdon Central.
Hunterdon Central Regional High School, located in beautiful Hunterdon County, is a high-achieving 9th to 12th grade school district educating over 2,200 students from 5 different municipalities. We are an innovative educational community dedicated to the intellectual, social, and emotional safety and growth of all of our students. We are proud to have been named a National Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, ranked 2nd in New Jersey for top public comprehensive high schools by U.S. News and World Report, received an AP School Honor Roll Silver Distinction. Our students are National Merit Scholarship semifinalists and commended students every year, and our students and teams have won a lot of trophies. And while we are very proud of these accomplishments, Hunterdon Central is more than awards. We are a welcoming school community committed to education, respect, growth, and support, and at Hunterdon Central, there is something for everyone. From academics to extracurriculars, we strive to offer something that will interest every student that enters our hallways. Look at our vast list of courses to choose from. Whether students are into math, science, English, history, or maybe they like business, art, or music, robotics, TV, or radio, we have something for every student at Hunterdon Central. Passionate about languages and culture? We had 118 students recently graduate earning the seal of biliteracy. We even offer 6 specialized academies through our magnet program in architectural design, biomedical sciences, computer science, engineering, media and communications, and robotics, and they are right here at Hunterdon Central. Students do not have to go to another school to participate in these unique academies. Central offers 18 different types of sports over 3 seasons with varsity, JV, and freshman levels, and we offer unified sports for students with and without disabilities. Our caring staff is dedicated to helping students succeed in every way. Please don't hesitate to ask questions and reach out if you need any help anytime. Welcome to Hunterdon Central.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Stewart Field here at Hunterdon Central Regional High School for today's varsity girls lacrosse game. It is 6-4 in favor of your Red Devils here as we start the second half. Caden Brent has 3 goals. Maggie Scally has 2. What have you seen so far, Maddie?
some second half action here. Should be exciting if it's anything like our first half. What I like is not one team had dominated. In the beginning it was a little more central, then it became a little more Bernards, but it was back and forth both the entire quarter, half rather, and I love to see that.
Yeah, something that Hunterdon Central hasn't seen a lot this year. Has been close games like this, but right now carry a 2-goal lead into the second half. Scally back for the draw. There's the whistle. And that was Brand at the draw. Picked up now by Shelly Schnell.
Brand being the standout player so far. 3 goals on the game, I believe.
Fights through contact, whistle blown. And we'll stay with Hunterdon Central from just beyond the 12-meter line. will go to Scally. Now behind the net to Jossie Sponzo. To Milasani. Santi will look. Back to Schnell. And it looks like Central running the play they did back in the first to Scally. Makes me towards the net, thinks better of it to Schnell. Knocked down by Kendall Schmuller for Bernard's, whistle blown. And will be Mountaineers ball. So the Bernards goalie Jane Stauffer looking to get something started here for Bernards. We'll go to Maya DeRosa, number 3, to Kendall Schmuller now. Schmuller along the near sideline will cut now to midfield. A big drive for the Bernards offense. Finds a stick. I believe that's Alexi Paterno.
Good defense, though, by the Devils.
Now to Eva Malello. Ball is loose. Picked up, and looks like Maggie Scally's down, needing a moment. No, that is Central number 10. I believe that's sophomore Leighton G. So she's going to walk it off. And I look to get something started yet again here for the Red Devils offense. Looking, we'll bring it up through midfield now. Big push for G, brings it to the far sideline. Cuts inside, looking for someone to pass to. We'll find the stick of fellow sophomore Dalty Klaus. Klaus will go to Central number 16. That is Maya Lasanti. Here's Jossie Sponzo. Passes it back down to Maggie Scally. Scally makes a move towards the net. Shot off. And off the side of the net. There's going to be a trip.
Beautiful shot there by Maggie Scally.
I believe that was Jelly Schnell that got tripped up chasing after that one. And it will stay with Hunterdon Central. Here comes Schnell. Looking for the net. Too much traffic. Spins. Gets a shot off. And goal for your Hunterdon Central Red Devils for Jelly Schnell.
Beautiful goal by Schnell. 7-4. Your Red Devils lead.
The senior, that's her 30th goal of the year. 67th point of the season. And we'll go back to midfield for another draw. 7-4 lead now for the Red Devils. And looks like maybe a timeout by maybe Bernards, I would have to think, going down by 3 now to start the second half.
Good call. Good time to call when you're down by 3 early in the second half.
Yeah, biggest lead for Hunterdon Central today with 9 minutes and 12 seconds remaining on the clock in the third quarter.
This is more what I expected to see them leading by like this. But we still got a lot of game left. It's only 9 minutes and 12 seconds into the third. We still got more than half of the game left. Yeah. We still got a lot of time left.
Yeah, absolutely. This kind of shows what we were talking about earlier. I mean, the Mountaineers of Bernards running good plays, taking their time, being patient to try to get a good shot off. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely a good play call. But Central just able to get the ball downfield very quickly, run a play, but not as patient as the Mountaineers have been. And obviously it's paid off 7-4 for the Red Devils, as both teams will now return to playing action. Looks like it'll be Caden Brandt back to the center of the HC for the draw.
Brandt, the senior, is looking very dominant not only in this game, in the season. Over 50 goals on the season. Beautiful.
Yeah, scored her 49th, 50th, and 51st goal so far today.
Beautiful.
As Kendall Schmuller returned to the middle for Bernards. Ref trying to figure out positioning now, making it as even as possible. And there's the whistle. Ball is loose, picked up by Mia DeRosa for Bernards. Passes it off. One hops it to Bernards number 2. And now here comes Caroline Burke up the midfield. Big rush now towards the offensive area for Bernards. Tries to take it all the way. Looking, goes outside to Fergia. Whistle blown. And will be Caroline Burke and Bernard's ball from the 12-meter line. Goes outside to Schmerler. Now to DeRosa. Now to the far side for Metro. DeRosa now looking over her options. Goes back to Schmerler as Bernard tries to get something going. Down by 3 here. Halfway now through the third. Back to Malello. Now to Bernard's number 19.
Bernard's going back and forth here. Looking good in front. Moves him with speed.
Yeah, Bernard's offense getting impatient as Schmerler tried to get one off. Here we go again. Whistle blown.
Beautiful play. Tough place by Bernard.
And it's a shooting foul. Here's Kendall Schmerler from the 8-meter line. And shot good for the Mountaineers. Schmerler able to beat Steinberg over the right shoulder to make it 7-5. Still down by 2 as they'll return to midfield and the HT logo for another draw.
Beautiful goal there by the Mountaineers, 7-5, as Robbie said, and we will have the draw control.
Good push, and I think Bernard's starting to pick up on the patience that they have maybe supplied too much of, as trying to get shots often and early, as Hunterdon Central has, trying to come back as they were down by 3, now down by 2. It's Brandt and Schmerler at midfield. Just some positioning for the ref. There's the whistle. Ball is up over the head of Mia DeRosa, picked up by Bernards. Here we go again. Here's Kendall Schmerler. Will drive big time towards the net. And Emily Steinberg. Shot goes wide.
They were getting a little restless, I think, being down by 3. I think they got a little by 3 earlier, 2 now. I think they were getting a little restless before they scored that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Shannon Dell, the junior for Bernards. Here comes Ellie Malello. She'll pass it off to Metro. Looks for Malello. Not there. Now it is. Goes back to Paterno. Looking. Takes the easy option to Dill. Dill now behind the net. Bernards trying to get back within 1. Dill will look. Tries to go in front for DeRosa. Traffic in the way. Back to Paterno. To Dill. Throw at Malello. Aggressive defense for Hunterdon Central. There's Malello now. Back to Metro. Continues sending around the horn. There's Caroline Burke. Now back to DeRosa and back to Paterno, and they'll try again. Dill gets a start again. Sends it back to Paterno. To DeRosa. Bernard's trying to let something develop, but Hunterdon Central defense not allowing it to happen.
Their defense is locked down on defense. They've stayed in the defensive zone for a while now, but still.
And a goal for Bernards brings it back within 1. That was number 4, Ali Malello. Malello's second goal of today, 7th of the year, and 11th point.
Central needs to start something if they don't want to go down. Still up by 1 though with 5:57 left.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of game you have to play. You can't let this one slip between your fingers. As the Mountaineers climb back within 1.
Especially their season will be over if they lose here today.
So it's Kendall Schmerler and Cannon Brandt at midfield for yet another draw. Positioning's good. And there's a whistle. Ball is up. Picked up by Mitarosa, number 3 for Berners. Passes it off to number 13. Here comes a big push for the Mountaineers. That's Kaylin Casey. Now to Shannon Dell. Try to go inside from Malello, but good defense there for Central's number 9. Spin move by Paterno. Ball is loose. Fighting, picked up by Hunterdon Central. Pass it off to Steinberg. Looked like that might have been Dalty Klaus, Central number 18, who got the turnover and gave the ball back to the Red Devils. A much-needed turnover for Hunterdon Central. Steinberg looking for an open stick. Thanks by Scally, but good defense by Alexia Paterno, number 19 for Bernards.
Mark not passing it to Scully, being guarded by that defender. Long pass there.
Long pass finds Scally, but it's fumbled, picked back up off a hop. Through traffic, ball is loose. There's Alexia Paterno. Will fight through contact. And the Mountaineers go back on offense. I'll go to Kendall Schmerler. Schmerler off a hop. Stick to the face. And whistle blown.
As I was saying, they got a little desperate, a little restless after being down. Yeah.
This looks like it will be Bernard's ball from the 12 meter. I believe that's Schmerler who has the ball. Indeed it is. Now just beyond the 12-meter line. Now to Metro. Shot off. Ball squeak behind the net. Now a fight. Dill picks it up. Along the near sideline. Payback going towards the net. Thinks better of it. He'll hand it off now to Bernards number 3. Shot off just wide. But it will stay with Bernards. You Central got that much needed turnover, but turned it right back over, whistle blown. As Schmuller looks for a move towards the net, and he'll try again out at the 8 meter. 4 minutes of counting here in the third quarter. Brant and Schneider will switch spots. There's the whistle. There's the shot. And we got a tie ball game. Kendall Schmuller, number 4 on the day.
Beautiful goal by Schmuller.
That is Schmuller's 67th goal of the year, leading the Mountaineers. And that is her 83rd point, so a fantastic season for the Bernard senior.
Something. You still have another quarter to play after this, but they gotta start something.
Yes, so here's Milo Santi now will go to the midfield for the draw, blowing a 3-goal lead here, trying to get back out in front. Whistle blown. And we're gonna try again.
I think it sucks definitely that they were up by that much. And they could have done worse, but still.
Yeah, like a good team like Bernard, you can't afford to take your foot off the gas pedal. As the ball is out, Chanel will pick it up, and a 1 draw for Hunterdon Central. Here comes Chanel on the far sideline, fights through contact. Tries to upstart this Hunterdon Central offense yet again. Chanel back behind the net, pass it off to Jossie Sponzo. Sponzo looking. Now to Scally. Scally will try to fight and get past Addison Chisholm, number 6 for Bernards. Passes it off now to Hunterdon Central, number 13.
Good guarding by Chisholm for Bernards.
Katie Schwartz able to find Scally. He thought about going towards the net, thought better of it. To Sponzo. Now Sponzo will look. Goes back outside of Schwartz.
Pass by Schwartz.
Schwartz now to Schnell, who migrates back in front of the net around the 23-yard line.
Pass back.
Back to Schwartz. Schwartz looking.
Being guarded heavily by the Bridge player.
Can't allow missing shots as that's a narrow miss for Kendall Schmuller to find the stick from Schwartz to Schnell. Here comes Klaus. Now there's Lasanti back behind the net.
I was saying it earlier, Central loves to play behind the net.
Yeah, we've seen that very often today. There's Dalty Klaus, the sophomore. Makes a move towards the net. Moves, whistle blown.
Good play there.
And it will be Central's ball from the 8-meter.
Central's starting to get some momentum going here. Can they capitalize? 1:57 left.
There's Klaus, shot, and good! Beats Stauffer over her right shoulder to give Central back an 8-7 lead.
They needed that. I was saying it earlier. I was saying they need to getting some momentum. Can they capitalize to go up? Because they can't afford to go down. 8-7 the score. 1:53 left.
1:53 left in this one. And an answer that Hunter Central desperately needed as they retake the lead 8-7 as Lasanti will return to the draw. She'll face off against Schmerler. Position looks good. And there's a whistle. Ball is up and picked up by Caden Brandt. Here comes Brandt rushing towards the net. Tries to take it herself. There's a move. Fights through contact. Can't get a shot off. Goes to Klaus, but Klaus fumbles that pass. Now it's a scrum for the ball. Picked up by Katie Schwartz. Schwartz on the far sideline. Schwartz now back behind the net to Jelly Schnell. Had a wide open Jossie Spons right for the net. Couldn't see it.
Brandt looking good there with speed. He's playing behind the net.
Schnell looking. She'll go to Lasanti. Lasanti now back to the outside to Scally. Now to Sponzo. To Brandt. Had Klaus in front of the net, but couldn't see it through traffic. Here comes Brandt. Now back to Schnell. Just trying to let something develop for Hunterdon Central, and now with a one-goal lead. With less than a minute left, shot for Schnell. Saved by Stauffer. Fantastic save.
By Snafford with less than a minute left here.
Able to keep it. There's a turnover on the pass. Ball is loose. Stauffer's down. Shot off and goal! For Maggie Scally, her third of the game, and it's another hat trick for the Red Devils. 9-7 Hunterdon Central with 38.7 seconds to go on the clock.
Yeah, beautiful goal by Scally, the hat trick. I think that's the third hat trick of the game, I think.
Believe it is, as Stauffer is down.
I hope she's okay.
You saw a lot of contact there in front of the net. Stauffer went down and then allowed a wide open net for Maggie Scally's third goal of the game. He absolutely able to give Central another multi-goal lead as it is now 9-7. As number 24 for Burner is looking to enter the game. That appears to be their backup goalie. Yeah, absolutely. You saw Kaylee Davey go down earlier for the Mountaineers. Their second lead goal scorer now. Their starting goalie in Jane Stauffer heading for the bench.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like she's able to walk off. She's walking by, she's being supported by two trainers, it looks like, heading towards the sideline.
Yeah, tough hit for Stauffer. As it is 9-7, Hunterdon Central, and another draw upcoming. Lasanti now heads towards midfield and the HC for her fourth draw of today. And she'll face off yet again against Kendall Schmerler. Lasanti versus Schmirler. There's the whistle. Ball is up and picked up by Caden Brand again.
Very dominant. The senior, 3 goals on the game.
Through
To start something.
through midfield, fights through contact. Ball is loose. Brand goes down. Whistle blown. And it looks like it's going to be central ball from the 8-meter for Caden Brandt.
Brandt looking very dominant. 3 goals on the game. Behind the net in the end zone. That's back. Central keeps it behind the net.
There's Jelly Schnell looking in front of the net for Brandt, who hits it off the side of the net. Now bounced off the crossbar, picked up by Berners number 13 and heads towards midfield. But a whistle is blown, and there's the horn.
Beautiful.
9-7 for your Hunterdon Central Red Devils after 3. Yeah, an action-packed third quarter that it was. Central able to expand their lead to 3 before Berners answered right back, tying it up, and then 2 quick goals here for Central to finish off the quarter. Makes it 9-7.
Welcome back. 4th quarter action, 9-7, the Central lead. 2 late goals there by your Red Devils. Hopefully they can maintain some of that momentum going into the 4th. Robbie, what do you think you want to see here from your Red Devils?
Well, again, a really close game here. 400 Central against Berners. Can't afford to take your foot off the gas pedal here, as Berners showed how good they are, able to tie it up from a 3-goal lead. 400 Central. Here Central carries a 2-goal lead into the 4th. Couple of hat tricks for Caden Brandt and Maggie Scally. Will be Maya Lasanti will return to midfield for the face-off. She'll face yet again against Kendall Schmirler. Teams will switch sides. There's a whistle and the ball is out. Ball still loose. Could be picked up by Lasanti. Nope. Ball still fumbled. Now Lasanti picks it up. She'll find Brandt now in midfield.
She's moving in with speed.
Here comes Caden Brandt looking for the net. Down she goes. And there's the whistle.
She gets up though. Good.
Hard hit for Brandt, trying to add number 4 on the day.
She looked good there. Moved in with a lot of speed. Bad hit there by Brandt.
Looks like it's going to be a shooting foul for Caden Brandt from the 8-meter line. There's the whistle. There's a shot. And it's good for Caden Brandt. Number 4 on the day gives Hunterdon Central a 10-7 lead.
Beautiful goal by the senior Caden Brandt. She's looked beautiful this season.
Goal number 52, point number 70 for Caden Brandt.
Beautiful. I was saying Central needed to keep some of that momentum going, and they definitely did. Brandt getting the ball in, getting it right in after that bad hit.
So 10-7 Central now. 42 seconds into the into the 4th quarter. Adds Lasanti Schmirler back at midfield for the draw. There's the whistle. Ball is up. Going to be picked up by Schmirler. Schmirler's led the Mountaineers all game. Continues to do so here, trying to get another goal on the scoreboard. He's back going towards the net. Peels back. Too much traffic. Now we'll go to Shannon Dell. Dell will go to Central number 4. Berners number 4. Keeps the ball. It's Eva Malello. Turnover. Whistle.
Beautiful defense.
Yellow
there.
card. Not a yellow card. So, but it's going to be a shooting foul here. And a chance for Eva Malello to bring the score back within 2. Passes it off to Malello. She thinks about it, move, thinks better of it. Now we'll go to the far sideline for Shannon Dell. Dell to a look to Paterno. Paterno to Metro. Metro thinks about a shot, looks about a move. Thought better of it, back to Caroline Burke to reset the offense. On the far side of the net. Back to Dell. Down to Paterno. Looking. Good defense there from Jillian Schneider, the sophomore for Hunterdon Central. Passes it. Low pass picked up by Metro. There's Dalty Klaus. Gets inside for DeRosa. And good save for Emily Steinberg.
Just off her stick. That was a beautiful stick. Just kind of took the stick and it out of the way.
Picked up by Dell. She'll find Paterno. Now to Metro, but it's off the stick. It's loose. Burns number 2 can't get there. It's a foot race down to the 40-yard line.
Oh!
Still down. Number 2 goes down. Picked up by Maggie Scally. Good chance for Hunterdon Central as they drive towards the net.
Scally looking for the 4th of the game.
To Jelly Chanel. Fights through contact. Thought about a shot. Thought better of it. And a whistle blown.
That looked good there. Good foot race. I think the Bernards player actually tripped over the ball.
Yeah, it looked like it. That was number 2 for the Mountaineers. Here's Jolly Schnell. Looks like it's going to be a shooting foul. Nope. Fights through contact. Swarmed at the 8-meter. Now knocked away. Picked up by Dalty Klaus, and Central will regain possession. Whistle blown.
Right.
And it's going to be a timeout for the Red Devils.
Good time to take a timeout. Lead by 3. Still early. A lot of game left to play. Great time to take a foul. Kind of take a foul. Take a timeout. Kind of get a little breather before they have to continue.
Yeah. As they enter the home stretch, still only up by 3 with 8:43 left in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
Central looking good, and again, they've been able to run plays, but quick action and impatient shots have really led to their success today.
I was saying they had some momentum late in the game. They needed to carry that over. They definitely did. They've looked good on offense and defense thus far this quarter.
You've seen the chemistry, you've seen the gel, so to say, between the team with girls like Kitten Brandt and Maggie Scally, the 2 leaders, but a lot of sophomores like Dalty Klaus, Jillian Schneider, all able to get in on the action and put up a 10 spot here. They can't let up with Bernards only being down 3. They've already come back from 3 once today.
Yeah. I mean, they look dominant, so hopefully they could get another goal here. I think losing their goalie for Bernards is definitely going to hurt them. She was star over 100, a lot of saves, over 100 saves on the season.
So Central comes out of the timeout. Bernard still huddled up.
I feel horrible. I feel so bad.
And there goes Bernards. Back to the field of play.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it will be Dalty Klaus to start off with the ball, the sophomore for Hunterdon Central. And there's the whistle. Klaus will look. Thinks about Lasanti, who runs a reverse. Klaus now will bring the ball back behind the net. Looking over her options. Taking your time. Has Schnell to her left. But good coverage by Alexa Paterno. Klaus really patient. Some action there from Maggie Scally trying to cut in towards the net, but good defense from Bernard's number 5. And really, I mean, even just shaving time off the clock. 8 minutes now to go in the fourth quarter.
Central doesn't want to take their foot off the gas.
The Berners defense growing impatient as Paterno and Burke thought about rushing her. Here comes Burke. Klaus along the right side of the net. Thought about going towards the net. Thought better of it. Spins. Back behind. Around the net. Shot. Goal!
What a goal. Went back behind that net and just launched it in. Beautiful goal. 11-7 to score.
Klaus unassisted. Really taking your time back down the net. Took a couple of moves there, trying to get towards the net, and finally able to get around and get a shot past number 24, the new goalie for the Mountaineers. It is now 11-7 Red Devils. So, Miles Santi returns to midfield for another draw to face off against Kendall Schmerler. 7:34 to go in the fourth. Whistle. Low ball. Santi able to pick it up. Fights through contact. Ball still loose. Now picked up by Klaus. Ball still loose. Good pressure from DeRosa, but Klaus able to break free. Rolled rush along the far sideline. And whistle blown. Play still going. Klaus now back in the far corner. Pass it behind the net for Jelly Schnell. Schnell now move. Thought about it. Thought better of it.
Looking good here. They couldn't, Central definitely couldn't take their foot off the gas. I don't think they have. They've definitely kept sustained pressure. I don't think it's been down in their end yet.
Yeah, aggressive defense as Schnell will fumble that one. Picked up by Schmerler. And the Mariners will go back on offense. She finds the mistake of number 6, who takes some contact there from, I believe it was Schnell and Brandt, but will retain possession and another whistle. A push for Lasanti and another whistle. Play keeps going. It's number 6 on the far side. Fights through more contact. Maybe a stick to the face, another whistle. And number 6 still going, Fort Bernards. Brings it all the way across field. Ball's loose. And finally, play is stopped. That was Addison Chisholm, number 6, Fort Bernards. So Chisholm will start with it again for the Mountaineers. Passes it off to Eva Malello. Malello look to Metro for the net, who fumbles that pass. Ball still loose. It was knocked away by Leighton G. There's a push, no call. Metro able to find Paterno, who finds Dell. Dell thought about making a move towards it. I thought better of it. Fakes to Paterno. Now we'll go to Paterno. Trying to set something up behind the net. It's starting to get restless now. As there's a shot that'll go wide with 5:22 and counting left on the clock. Dell will bring it back in for Bernards to Caroline Burke. Burke now to Metro. Back to Burke. Burke seems to be that neutral piece to really reset the offense and try to get a play going. As it went to Paterno, then to Malello, and now here is Chisholm. No, that is Berners number 9. Keenan Metro. I believe that was Metro. Ball still loose. Whistle blown.
4:43 left. 11-7 your score in favor of your Red Devils.
So it'll be Berners' ball from the 8-meter for Keenan Metro. There's a shot, and it's good. It'll sneak past the feet of Emily Steinberg. Still 11-8, still a 3-goal lead for your Red Devils with 4:26 to go in the fourth. So back to midfield for another draw between Milo Santi and Kendall Schmerler. Looking now, Central can't have Bernards call all the way back as he did in the third quarter. Only 4:26 left in this one.
Can they hold on?
There's the whistle. Ball is high and out. And it's picked up by Maya DeRosa for the Mountaineers. Fights through contact and a stick to the head from Caden Brandt. And a yellow card for Caden Brandt. Power play for the Mountaineers. Ball still not in play. So the Red Devils will be without their best player for a brief time period now.
That's definitely going to hurt them, but they got to be aggressive. They don't want Bernards to come back anymore.
Will be Mia DeRosa to try to get it going for Bernards here just for the 50-yard line. Brandt trying to jump the gun. There's the whistle, and we're back underway. DeRosa found Bernards number 13. We'll find Addison Chisholm now along the far sideline. Chisholm now will cut in the midfield. Takes a hard drive now towards the net to the far sideline. I'll pass it off now to, I believe, Shannon Dell. There's Allie Malello. Ball's loose, picked up by Steinberg. And a turnover that Bernards cannot afford with 3:15 counting left in regulation.
Beautiful save by Steinberg.
Passes it off now to Jolene Schneider. Schneider tries to cut in between Schmerler and Patino. Went to the near sideline. Now pass it off to Katie Schwartz, sophomore to sophomore. Now to Maya Lasanti. Lasanti will look. Now goes to sophomore Dalty Klaus. Klaus to Scally. Back to Klaus. Looking for her second goal today. Fights through contact from Mia DeRosa. And Patino trapped in towards the end zone and whistle blown. Will be Red Devils ball. There's the whistle. Here comes Klaus. He's behind the net. Pressure from DeRosa. 2:40 left. And here's Klaus. Shaving time off the clock. A game of cat and mouse with DeRosa and Schmerler. And here comes Klaus. Ball knocked loose. Picked up by 24.
Beautiful save there by 24.
But a whistle blown and it goes back into the stick of Dalty Klaus. There's the whistle. Here comes Klaus. Klaus on the near sideline. Thought about inside for Scally, but good defense here from Caroline Burke, and the whistle blown again. Here's Klaus. Outside to Brandt, who's now back on the field of play. Now to Lasanti. Over now to Sponzo. Sponzo looking, she's got DeRosa on her, thinks about a move to the far sideline. Good juke there for Sponzo. Now to Brandt. Brandt fights past Caroline Burke. Whistle blown. Play doesn't stop, but a stick to the face from Kendall Schmerler. And looks like it'll be Caden Brandt from the 12-meter. Yes, it will. Outside to Sponzo. Now to, I believe, Lasanti on the far side of the field.
Clock winding down here.
Back to Sponzo. 1:10. Here comes Sponzo. Knocked free by Burke. Picked up by Sponzo. Now behind the net to Schnell. Whistle blown. And Central ball from the 8-meter.
Less than a minute left.
For
Central
Sponzo.
leads. Set 11-8. 50 seconds left.
50 seconds and counting now. Central can smell it. They can taste it. They got 45 to go, up by 3. Pass it to Scally. Scally shot off. And there's number 4 for Maggie Scally.
Beautiful goal by Scally, the senior.
Good look from Sponzo. It's 12 to 800 Central with 39.5 seconds left on the clock.
Beautiful.
Scally's 4th goal of the game and 42nd of the year for her 57th point.
Beautiful goal by Maggie, the senior.
Back to midfield for Lasanti and Schmerler.
39.5 left.
Whistle. Ball's out, whistle blown. And it'll be Burner's ball. Russell will start with it. There's the whistle. Fights through contact. Whistle blown. Burns retains it. 20 seconds now and counting. Here comes DeRosa. Almost stumbles, loses the ball. Oh, picked up by Scally, but whistle blown. DeRosa. Now back to Burner's number 13. Now to, I believe that's Metro.
3 seconds.
Towards the net. No, that's Schurler. Gets a shot off.
And
It's
that
blocked.
will do it. It's a Central win. 12-8 your final here at Stewart Field.
So the horn blows and time expires. 12-8 final for another Red Devils win.
That was a beautiful win. They needed that. I thought Bernards might have had them in the middle there, but able to pull out and come out on top.
Win number 17 as Hunterdon Central moves to 17-2. Burners to 11-6. So that's it from today at Stewart Field here from Hunterdon Central Regional High School. Red Devils 12, Burners 8. We'll see you next time.